Hello, I'm making this video about the details about what happened with my dad and me when I was a kid. Okay, here's what I know from experience and what happened from my memories. When I was a kid, probably from like, I don't know, 2 to 4, I think, approximately, my dad would have me take showers with him. He would have me play with his penis. When I was 6, I was taking a nap with him and my brother, and he was saying, oh, Cheryl, as if I was my mom. And I remember he was wearing a robe, and then he parted his robe, and his penis was showing, and it was erect. And he kept trying to pull my underwear down and my nightgown up. And he tried rolling sideways so that his penis was between my legs. And I kept trying to pull my underwear back up. And then finally, I think I just jumped out of the bed and I was like, Daddy, no, or something. And I went back to my room. When my mom came home from getting groceries, I told her about it, and she said, we'll talk about it later or something. Anyways, I have a video of my testimony too where I tell more details, but she called Focus on the Family the next day, and they reported it, and then my dad was arrested. He got off on just lewd act with the child, which he should have been convicted of something like attempted rape with the child. He should have been in prison for 20 years, but he was only for a year, and he got off after 6 months based on good behavior. So if you want my opinion about how long I think my dad should be in prison, I think he should be in for like 20 or 30 years so that he does not do this to another child. I have worked with kids since I was 14. I care a lot about kids and their safety, obviously. I've been a camp counselor, and I think because of what happened to me, my life mission has been to protect kids, and to, if there's anything I'm suspicious of anything, then I'll report it, any kind of abuse or whatever. Um, but yeah, so I'm definitely concerned for other kids out there. I know my brother was engaged to a girl who had like 3 kids, and she moved in with my dad and what used to be her mother-in-law. Very confusing family dynamic, but my dad's current wife has a son. He was married to this girl. They divorced. Then, and I'm guessing that's what who this kid is. And I knew something was going to happen because he shouldn't be living with kids. But then my dad and stepmom set my brother up with this girl who was her son's ex-wife. And then, so they were like engaged and living together. Nate was helping with the kids and like money and stuff because she wasn't working. And then they broke up because Nate signed up for the military for 7 more years. So she didn't like that. So she broke it off with him. And then she moved in with my dad, which I knew was a horrible idea. And I texted my brother about it. Like, does she know that he molested me? Another thing is that I know that when my brother was 14, my dad took a shower with him, and he probably won't admit this because I'm sure he has shame about it, because guys never admit when they were sexually abused, or they don't like to, but I don't know any details, but I'm guessing the same thing when I took showers with my dad. He had Nate play with his his penis. So, anyways, pretty crazy stuff. So I definitely think that he should be put away for a long time. My ex-husband, who died recently due to alcohol and prescription drugs, he was a prison guard, and he said that there was one guy in prison where he was at his prison where he had molested his kids, and like he had to be in like segregation because all the other inmates like would have killed him if they had the chance, because that's just the most like disgusting thing ever. So yeah, I mean, any other person who commits a crime, they still wouldn't do something like that. Like, it's just like, and it's also extremely rare for a dad to do it to his own kid, I've heard. So, anyways, I definitely think justice should be done. And I know it wasn't the first time because he was only in for 6 months. And I can't believe my parents remarried after that. He didn't try anything else with me, but when I was 12, I was crying about something with my stepmom because she was really difficult to get along with. And he was hugging me, and then he kissed my neck, and I pulled away, and I was like, no, you can't do that. And I knew at that point, because I had boyfriends, that that's kind of like a sexual arousal thing. So that kind of threw me off, and I never forgot it. Luckily, right after that, my mom moved me out to California, so I didn't really see him again until I was like 18. And I remember when I went back to visit, even when I was 18, I was concerned because he had screensavers on his computer of like bikini models and stuff. And I was really felt weird about that because I was like, obviously, he's not working on his sexual addiction if he has that on his computer. And I was like, why would you keep that up when you have a young lady staying with you? Like, I stayed with them for a week or something. And then I noticed too that, like, in the shower, like in the bathroom, there was a window, which what bathroom has a window? But this house was just built that way. But anyways, there weren't curtains on it. So I put a towel up to cover it, obviously. But I know before I visited, he was living with a girlfriend and her kids. So I have had the thought since then that he might have been spying on them when they were in the shower. Um, this was some lady in Missouri Valley that was his girlfriend. She was like legally blind or something. Ironically, like she was also metaphorically blind because he totally could have been doing stuff to those kids too. And then this last girl, Margot, my brother's ex fiance, her kids, I'm sure, I think she had three. I mean, he could have been doing stuff with all of them. So, not cool. And I was very mad that Nate, my brother, didn't say something, or I don't know if he ever told Margot that my dad was a child molester. And I know my parents got remarried or back together because the psychologist said that he was healed and stuff, but I don't know if people can ever become healed from child molestation and sexual addiction. I don't know. I mean, maybe if God completely sets them free, but there is that verse. I'm a Christian. There's the verse in the Bible. If anyone causes one of these little ones to stumble, it would be better for him to have a millstone tied around his neck and thrown into the sea. My mom thinks that whenever I say that verse, I'm not forgiving him, but it's just biblically, I think, I mean, back in the day, the Hebrews or whatever Jews would have stoned my dad for doing what he did. I mean, you just, I don't know if you can be healed from it. And then there's that story about Miss America, and she was like molested by her dad, and like she thought he was better, but then when he was like 72, he did something else with the kid. So it just goes to show that maybe they never get healed. I mean, once you're sick like that, you're just always sick like that. So, Dad, if you're watching this, you're incredibly sick. And I don't know why you would do something like that. So, I mean, my thought spiritually since then has been that maybe he was possessed when he did that, and maybe he still has an evil spirit inside of him to cause him to do stuff like that, because I don't know why someone would hurt a child like that. I don't know. It's crazy. I've done lots of counseling about it and lots of prayer. For the most part, I think God has healed me and made me pretty much normal. Most people wouldn't even suspect that I was sexually abused because I'm not super insecure, like I'm confident and stuff, and but that's thanks to God and Jesus and him renewing my mind and giving me peace and joy. So, hopefully the same can happen with these kids, whatever kids that he has hurt since me. But okay, other details. When my dad was in jail, he admitted to my mom that when I was a baby, he would masturbate me to make me fall back asleep. And, like if I was crying, which, my goodness, how sick. And I guess he would put his penis between my legs when I was a baby and, like, rub it for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's very weird. So he did those two things when I was a baby, and then I, in my memory, actually remember taking showers with him, like I said, and playing with his penis, and he wanted his penis to like become a toy for me, basically, was I guess what he admitted to my mom. Um, so those are the things that I remember. You can obviously use this video in court. I would like it to be evidence, and I would like him to be put away for as much time as possible, possibly life, because I love kids, and I've worked with hundreds of kids over the years, and I can't imagine any of them being hurt by someone that way. And it really, I mean, it really has affected me. Like, for the most part, people can't tell, but that's because I'm pretty good about acting a certain way, even though on the inside, I do have a lot of shame and just feeling like awkward. Because it really does kind of stick with you. Sexual abuse is like the worst. Like physical abuse, like that sucks, but sexual abuse is just so like weird, especially when it's your own dad, because I think I really did beat myself up for my parents divorcing because I thought it was my fault. And I thought if I wasn't such a cute kid, then my dad wouldn't have done that stuff, so why was I so cute? Or maybe it was my mom's fault. Maybe they didn't have sex enough, or it's all kinds of stuff. So it's very serious. And I hope that whoever you are watching this in court, or the judge or the jury, that you will take this very seriously, and that he needs to be quarantined forever if possible, because obviously he's not stopping. I know when my parents were married, he got a prostitute to do oral sex on him, probably when I was like 5, I don't know. And then he went to jail when I was 6. My parents got back together when I was like 7. We moved to Nebraska when I was 9. And then my parents divorced when I was 10, and I asked my mom a couple years ago, because I wrote a book, which I can email to you guys and you can submit it into evidence for the court too. I wrote a book about what happened, and my mom wanted me to title it, Mommy, I want to tell you about something yucky, because that's what I told her that morning. Anyways, what was I going to say? Too many thoughts. Dope. Totally lost my train of thought, sorry. Anyways, I'll submit the book to you too. It gives more details about stuff that happened. So hopefully this video will help, my testimony video, and my book that I wrote about the sexual abuse. And I wrote about other topics too, like my life since then. But anyways, I don't know if there's anything else I need to say. The other thing that I just talked to Captain Capoche, sorry if I said your name wrong, or someone else, and he said my brother admitted that my mom found some porn magazines, like a lot, that my dad had when they were married, which I consider adultery, and she should have just divorced him then, but whatever. But before he got rid of them, let my brother look at them a lot, which, why would you do that? Why would you want to corrupt your own son? But whatever. Crazy. I didn't know about that. So that probably didn't help, because my brother probably lost his virginity at like 15 or 16, and he was like really sexually active he's slept with like lots of women. So that didn't help that my dad passed on his sickness of viewing women as objects and being a sexual addict kind of to my brother. So yeah, that porn magazine wasn't good. And then, oh, that's what I was going to say. Before my parents divorced, my mom said my dad's behavior became very erratic. He would stay up late at night doing stuff. He seemed to be kind of manic. He would always drink 1 or 2 beers to fall asleep, but then he was drinking more at night. I don't know if it was like 4 or 5. He wasn't getting along with his coworkers or his boss. I think he kept getting fired or quitting jobs or something. He didn't want to go to counseling anymore, which that was one of the stipulations of his after he got released from jail, was that he kept going to counseling. He didn't want to do that anymore. He didn't even really want to go to church, which was weird because we were like, our family was all about church. Another thing to know, my mom and dad were involved in a cult. It was called the Local Church when I was a kid. So my mom was in it from like 18 to 30. So my dad was in it for quite a while too, probably 10 years at least. This cult was very legalistic. Women had to wear skirts. They called each other saints. But the main issue was that they couldn't really be open and honest. I think it was probably like people were wearing masks a lot, which I think that's why this sickness began in my dad, just like it begins in the Catholic Church with priests, because whenever you get in those highly religious circles where everything is judged, people can't talk about things that they're struggling with, so then they just keep it secret, and then you're only as sick as your secrets, right? So, Yeah, I've thought about this stuff a lot, obviously, since my dad. But Satan works in the darkness, so the more you keep things hidden and in the darkness, the more they fester and grow into this crazy, like, cancer. You just got to get it out in the light and speak the truth. Speak the truth shall set you free, right? So my dad, I think, felt like he couldn't talk to anyone about it. He never really had friends, which is another bad thing. I mean, ever. I know he did a lot of drugs when he was a teenager, so I'm sure he had friends then that he did drugs with, but I think he's done like every drug in the book. So is my brother. But, anyways, so that probably didn't help in messing him up. He always struggled to get along with coworkers. He's not very good with interpersonal, although he's very friendly. Like, he comes off as very friendly at first. But I think that's just because he's so needy, because he doesn't have any close personal friendships, but he can't because he has this whole secret world going on of like sexual addiction and stuff. So that's what keeps him from friends, but then not having friends is what keeps him in this sexual addiction cage. I hope you're watching this, Dad, because I think it could help you shed some light on your sickness. He wanted me to read this book, Into the Shadows, which was about sexual addiction, which I looked into, but I was like repulsed by it because it's all about like streaking and voyeurism and like men spying on women changing. I was like, I don't really want to. I don't want to read about that. It's just gonna make me even more paranoid that every guy is gonna be a sicko like my dad. But luckily, I have learned to trust guys. My ex-husband, who died 6 months ago, again from drinking and prescription drugs, the mix of that, he was really good and trustworthy, and it helped me to trust guys again and believe that, they're not all perverted. And I'm currently married to a really great Christian guy who's also very trustworthy, so that's good. Praise God. Um, anyways, I'm already at 17 minutes. Um, I don't know what else to say. Except that I'm sorry, Margot, if you're watching this for your kids, and I'm sorry Nate didn't warn you better about my dad. And I hope that your kids will be okay, and I recommend that you go to church, because that's the only thing that will make them better is God. And I just pray for any other kids that he has hurt, that God, that you would make them okay and heal their scars. And Dad, if you're watching this and you do get 20 years or more in jail, I pray that you would read the Bible like 100 times, and I do pray that you get saved, because I want everyone to get saved, and I do forgive you. And I pray that God can completely regenerate your heart and mind and soul, and I know that he can, because he's capable of anything, and I don't know why he hasn't done it yet. But I pray that God does heal you, and I'm sorry that you struggle with this sickness. That's how I see it. So most of my videos that I make on YouTube, I say a prayer, so I will say a prayer. Heavenly Father, I pray for my dad. I pray that you would heal his heart, that you would shine light into the darkness, that you would help him to speak the truth, and that the truth would set him free, that you would send him people, if it's in jail, that it would be other cellmates or just guards, prison guards, I don't know, that he could talk to about his sickness and his disease of sexual addiction. I pray that he would read the Bible and pray a lot and seek you and seek your face and become better from this. And you discipline those you love, so perhaps you're putting him in jail because you want to fix him and make him a better person. I pray that you would heal him. I know that you're capable of doing anything in the entire world, and I pray that you would completely regenerate his heart, mind, body, and soul. Thank you that my dad was as nice as he was. There are good aspects of my dad. He was very playful with me and Nate when we were kids, and he took us like fishing and camping and stuff a lot. Nobody is all good or all bad, and neither is my dad. He's not completely bad. I do think of him more as a victim, that he's a slave to sin, just like anyone is before the Holy Spirit regenerates them. So I'm not necessarily angry at him, but I do think justice should be done and that he shouldn't hurt any more kids. So, Dad, I do forgive you, but it's not okay for you to keep doing this stuff. So that's why I'm making this video, and I hope that it helps in court to convict him. In Jesus' name, amen. I hope this helps you guys. Thanks.